I'm a high school teacher at Vanguard Collegiate High School, located on the Franklin campus, and a police officer for the Rochester Police Department. I had 8 wonderful students, but they didn't have the greatest opinion of the police. As well as the fact that trying to teach students math and science when they don't feel safe at home is really a fruitless endeavor. So what I ended up doing was deciding that I wanted to kind of meet the safety needs of my students first before I was going to attempt to teach them. And that led me to become a police officer here in the city. As well as being a police officer and a high school teacher, I'm also a classically trained opera singer. So opportunities for me to sing the national anthem at several charity events have come up, as well as an opportunity I had pretty recently was singing God Bless America at the Buffalo Sabres game. That was a fantastic opportunity given to me by the Badge of Honor Association, of which I am an executive board member. And it's a great charity that raises money for fallen and injured officers and their families, as well as for several other local charities. As a Rochester City School District teacher, I have a great opportunity to shape the future of Rochester. And if there's one thing that I can say about Rochester students, it's that they are a tremendous resource for this city. I think that the more that we tap into our students and the more resources we put towards our students, the better Rochester is going to be as a whole. One of the best things about being a high school teacher as well as being a police officer is that a lot of students get to see me in a very different light. Again, they get to relate to me in a way that on the street they might not be able to. And it's not always cool to be the one who says hi to the police officer, comes up and talks to the police officer, but in school they're just far less intimidated by their peers, and they approach me as a teacher and as a fellow citizen of Rochester. I think that my students, as well as all of the students at Vanguard Collegiate High School, are going to have a better respect for police officers and view them not just as authority figures, but as people. You know, I got into being a police officer because I wanted to help people. I decided a long time ago that it's easy to make $1 and it's a lot tougher to make a difference. And that's where I decided to take my path. And they can see that I was just like them when I was in high school, deciding what I wanted to do with my life. My most memorable moment as a police officer was responding to a burglary on J Street. And not only did I get to catch the burglar still in the house, which is few and far between, but there was a young boy who was hiding under a pile of clothes in his parents' bedroom. And I got to be the one to pick him up out of that pile of clothes and tell him everything was going to be okay. And you know, for him, the police officers are superheroes, and that made my day. So I guess I would say that the next time you see a police officer, just remember that he's a very complex individual. I don't think that everyone who meets me on every call that I have, every burglary, every robbery, looks at me and thinks, well, that's a guy who knows a lot of philosophy, probably reads Shakespeare and poetry on his weekends, who works as a high school teacher and volunteers his time for a charity. All they see is the badge and the gun. Mostly the gun and then the badge in that order. An important thing about being a police officer is that I'm a person first and I'm a police officer second. I was Mike Ciulla long before I was Officer Ciulla. And if the population as well as myself can remember that, I think that would go a long way to bridge the gap.